Welcome to Soulful Conversations with Nadjejda. I'm Nadjejda Chapoteau. I am the host of Soulful Conversations with Nadjejda. I am a certified empowerment and confidence coach, spiritual teacher, and speaker. Soulful Conversations with Nadjejda is a podcast that is all about empowering women, entrepreneurs in their businesses and in their lives. We talk about all types of topics from the entrepreneurial journey, how to get clients, your message, your niche, the importance of having those things being authentic in your business, self love, self care, all the way to politics, spirituality and politics and social justice, because I believe all these topics matter. At least they matter to me, and I think they matter to most people. So I didn't want to just talk about business stuff. So as a coach, I help women entrepreneurs experience ease, clarity, confidence, and fun in their businesses by discovering their message and finding their niche. I'm very passionate about dance. I love to dance. If you follow me on social media, you probably know that about me, or if we're friends already on Facebook or something. And I'm also passionate about social justice, nature, love, spiritual growth, making a difference specifically in empowering women and children in my homeland, Haiti. And very much, which is very much in line with my work, empowering women around the world to reconnect with themselves, love and like their authentic self, and sharing their message through their authentic self boldly with the world. Because I'm a firm believer that's how we can make an impact. I'm so happy to have my guest today. She is a fellow Haitian American sister. She's actually probably like the fifth one. I can't remember, Samoa. I think you may be my fifth guest who's Haitian American. I love featuring my Haitian American sisters. Obviously, I have other sisters, but I have a special heart, like I just said on my live earlier, for my people. They have a special place in my heart. So Samoa Blanchet, who's my guest today, thanks for joining me today, is a brand designer who specializes in logos and websites. She believes that if everyone shared their passions with the world, it would be a much better place. I completely agree. So she expresses her clients' passion to their audience with her designs so they could connect with them to make an income and an impact that will change the world. I love that. Thank you for joining me today, Samoa.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, yes. So I know for like, you're all about passion.
Mm-hmm.
You want to inspire people to lead with their passions always. I love that. So I'm curious, has this always been the case with you?
No, not really. When I was growing up, like I'm obviously Haitian, so my parents are Haitian, and they push the whole follow, like all parents do, not even just Haitian parents, but all parents are like, follow your dreams, follow your dreams. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Anything.
You can do anything. And then you tell them what you want to be, and they're like, but you can't do that. You got to do this other thing.
Except that one.
Yeah, except that one. You can't do that one thing. So I always had an interest in the arts, in the creative arts. When I was a kid, my mom put me in ballet. She took me out for some reason. I don't remember why. And eventually, I really loved drawing. I was horrible at it, but I loved it. And that grew into me actually teaching myself how to draw in high school and becoming graphic designer now. But when I told my parents that I wanted to be a graphic designer, like I had finally found something that I absolutely loved and that I was actually good at, they weren't the happiest. They were like, hey, you should go into the medical field. You should be a doctor or a physician assistant. Like, you're so smart. Why are you wasting it on that? Things like that. And at first I agreed. Honestly, like I was like, you know what, that makes more sense. I should become a physician assistant because I'll make more money and I'll be able to take care of myself better and take care of my family. If I become a designer, then I don't know if I can take care of myself. I don't know if I can pay my bills. So I should go into the medical field. That makes more sense. So I agreed with them. I actually did. I looked at colleges to go to, programs to sign up for, and everything. But then I kind of had an epiphany and I was like, I absolutely hate the medical field. Like, why would I do that to myself? Yeah. And maybe it's idealistic because I'm young, but so far it's worked for me. And I just kind of made a split-second decision. I said, no, I'm going to school for design. I'm going to be a graphic designer, and I'm going to be great at it. And if I'm great at it, then I will be able to take care of myself for it. And once I moved out, I followed the path that I wanted to follow, the path that felt right for me. And I was already in love with design. I was already really passionate about it. But once I started helping other women express themselves and their passions and learning about their passions and hearing about them, I realized that I didn't know what happiness was until then. And it's like, since it's been about a year since I moved out, a year and 2 months actually, and I've never been happier. Like, yeah, there are dips, obviously. I'm not always happy, but
like every journey.
Exactly. But it's so amazing, and I love it, and I love doing all of it. So since I know how good it feels, I always try to inspire other people who may be reluctant to express their passions or who just don't know how to express their passion. So I'm always happy to help them get there, because it's just a good feeling, and seeing other people do it too, it's like a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Great. No, I totally get that, and I like what you said about how you thought you knew what happiness was, but you realized you didn't until you did this. Yeah. So tell me now, how easy or how hard was it for you to take this leap of faith?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a story. So it was already difficult because my parents are also Jehovah's Witnesses. They're Jehovah's Witness, they're strict, and they're Haitian. So
I take offense to that last part.
I'm just saying. So they were very strict. I didn't really do anything by myself. Like I didn't have a normal childhood where I went out with my own friends from school or hung out with them. I never took a bus until I moved here. I was also sheltered, and that's not a bad thing because I was well taken care of. So because of that, I never had to take care of myself. And so taking that leap, because I knew that staying with them, I would be restricted in following my passions. I wouldn't be able to explore it as much as I wanted to. So I moved out. Another big thing that they didn't appreciate. So taking that leap is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Because I knew that I wanted to do something, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why I felt that way. I just knew that I felt a certain way, and I didn't feel okay where I was. I wanted to do something bigger. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the how, and I didn't know the why. I just knew that it was. So taking that leap, and once I took that leap, the worst thing that could have happened. Because after I told my parents and everything, they didn't agree, but they were like, it's your life. You do what you want. And I went to Haiti for a couple of days for vacation. And my passport got stolen. All my travel documents got stolen there, and I was stuck there for 2 months. So everything that I had planned for, the apartment that I had rented, that I had paid a deposit on, was gone. The jobs that I had lined up, because I was moving to another city. I was moving from Miami to Tampa. The jobs that I had lined up with interviews and offers, they were gone. The money that I had, well, it was still in my bank account, but a lot of it was gone with the deposits and buying furniture and buying all that stuff that I had bought that was supposed to be delivered, but wasn't because I wasn't there. All of that was gone. So I'm in Haiti, stressed out, going crazy. My parents are trying to figure out how to get me back here. They're going crazy.
Wait. So your past. Oh.
Huh?
I'm sorry. You know what it is? Oh my God, I'm sorry. Well, hey, you guys know me for being authentic, so I'm not even gonna pause this. For a moment, I thought they stole your passport so you can get stuck in Haiti and not be able to do what you want to do.
Oh no!
So forgive me,
No.
So your passport got lost somewhere.
My passport was just lost. Like it got stolen. And they were trying to get me back and everything. And we went through a couple of things. They basically told me, they were like, oh, this is your punishment. This is God.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is God punishing you for going against everything that we're telling you to do, basically. And I was just like, I started believing it. My morale was low. I was like, maybe when I get back, I should just do what I said I was going to do. I should just stay home and become a doctor and do all of that. And I was like my morale was pretty low at that point. So not only was it hard to take the leap, but when I finally decided to take the leap, it was like a big slap in the face. Like, no, whatever you're doing, you should stop. And so I come back and I'm like, should I even continue? Should I just stay? But then I was like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, I'm so glad that I didn't stay, but it wasn't the easiest thing to do. And that's what I've realized over time with everything. I feel like following your purpose and following your passion at first, not always, but at first, it may be the hardest thing you have to do, because sometimes it's completely different from what everybody else around you is telling you to do. And it's really hard to let all those voices overpower your soul's voice. And it's like, oh, and you just go with the flow and you don't do what works for you. And then 30 years later, 30 years down the line, you're like, where did I go wrong? Because I'm so unhappy. And it's not too late, because you can always change it. You're still alive, so you can change it. But that was a lot of time wasted.
Totally. No, I totally agree with you, because, I just shared that I did a live before we got here. And I was sharing how, this journey, the entrepreneur journey, stepping out and following your heart, following your calling, especially when you're doing it the non-traditional way, which is the entrepreneur journey, for example, one of them, is that, we're basically going against everything we've been taught. So of course it's gonna be hard, and of course you're gonna be doubting yourself, and that's also, one of the things I was sharing. That's why it's also important that you surround yourself with people who are supporting you, with the people who are actually not gonna make you wanna be that perfectionist or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, totally. No, I can get that. Wow. Okay. So tell me. So now, how did you get back here?
They found my passport.
They what? They found it?
They found it. I got it. It's kind of fishy, but they eventually found it.
I know, that's why when you said, I was like, this is kind of weird. Now that you're saying they can feel it, I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, okay, well, I'm not taking any offense, but just share. I just want you, when you say they're Haitian, because you said they were Jehovah's Witness, they are Haitian. Can you explain to my audience who are not Haitian what you mean by that? Because I'm just making sure.
It's not just, it's about immigrants, basically. Because as an immigrant, or as a child of an immigrant, it's not the same as someone who was born in America, whose parents were born in America, etc. Because your parents, they left their lives. And usually these parents, they leave their lives in another country. My parents weren't bad. Like, they were pretty stable where they were. They had a nice house. My dad had a good job. My mom had her own business. They had a good life. But they came here for me and my siblings. They came here, they immigrated here and they became maids and dishwashers. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like from where they were to where they are now, they did all of that. They made those sacrifices so that we could have a stable future and a bright future. So that was also difficult for me, because I acknowledge them for that. So when I say they're Haitian, I mean that they made all of those sacrifices. So and the one thing that they asked of me my entire life was that I get good grades and I go to a career path so that they can say, yeah, all those sacrifices I made were for a reason. Yeah. And so if I go and I say, actually, I'm going to be an artist, and like artists are notorious for starving and dying and not being able to take care of themselves and probably working like at a fast food restaurant or whatever, they felt like I just threw all of their hard work away. I just threw all the decades of hard work away. Like 20 years of hard work was just gone. So when I say that Haitian, we have different expectations. You don't expect your daughter, I mean, no parents expects that, but you don't when you work so hard, you expect your daughter to be making so much more and doing so much more than you are.
Totally, totally. And you know, just to reiterate what you just share for our audience is that Haitians, and actually I like what you just said about immigrants because not that long ago I was watching a video and this woman, she's from Nigeria. And
Hmm.
she was saying that her mom, when she told her mom she wanted to be a comedian or something, like the way she was talking about it, so it's not just that Haitian, you know, Haitian parents. I
Hmm.
think it's the immigrant, you know,
Yeah.
the immigrant community is very much, I can speak, and now I can see that Nigerians are the same, and, you know, Africans, and is that, you know, for them, you're supposed to be a doctor, you're supposed to be a lawyer, you're supposed to be a nurse, like you're to engineer. Those are the type of things because supposedly they're secure, they make money, whatever. And then also, you know, Haitians, for them, their what their children do is like an accomplishment.
Yeah, for
Like
them.
you
Exactly.
represent them, you know.
Exactly.
And obviously also, like you said, they're coming from a place of love too, because if you're starving, they wouldn't want that for you. You know, and then as you were saying that, I just thought about this clip when you talked about, you know, what they had done, whatever. And I saw this. It's a funny thing, and they were saying like this girl said she wanted to go learn to be a cosmetologist,
Hmm.
and the mom was like, "Oh yeah, she's talking about some medical stuff." And then when they explained, she was like, she sat down. She's like, "I'm supposed to tell people you want to go put makeup on? You want to put makeup on people at the mall?" So like, you know, so I was like, you know, and that's the thing is that sometimes you see those clips. Some people may be thinking that, oh, you know, this is just something funny, but it's actually a reality in many people's families because to them, that's what you. And I was just, you know, I shared that in the live that my parents never really told me. I mean, of course, they had their some of like what to, you know, what they wanted us to do, but more than anything, it was like you're gonna get a degree. You know, there was no such thing as like you're gonna, you know, like I was saying, you know, you go to college, you're gonna get your degree. Then after you get your degree, you're gonna go get a job. You know, so what I'm doing now is not was not the plan for them at all. I'm sure.
Oh,
So yeah, so
yeah.
so what would you say? Like, okay, so what for you? See, like you said, it's tough. It was tough because, like you said in the beginning, it is tough. And I think with any journey, any huge journey to follow your calling, to really step into your purpose, is tough in the beginning. And you're gonna have moments, even when you know you have. It's life is ebb and flow, you know. So I'm curious, how did you get through the tough times when you know when you were going through them?
I'm an annoyingly positive person. um so when I am feeling down, I like to challenge, and I'm also pretty ambitious in the sense that I like to challenge myself. I feel like I'm always competing against myself, and it's like, oh, I did that. That was great. How can I do it better? So when even I ended up moving out without a job. I didn't have a job, and I had found the same apartment that I rented that I
Um,
lost. I found it again.
oh wow.
Somebody was subleasing it. She subleased it because she was moving to another place, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Divine timing, you know."
Yeah.
So
It
I
was
always
meant
try
to
to
be.
find, I always try to find the positive in a situation, and even looking back, that time where I was stuck in Haiti, that was probably very stressful for me at the time. But looking back at it, I see the positive that came out of that. I got to know some of my family members better. I have a new appreciation for my parents, definitely. And another thing is that now I also know, like, part of my purpose, other than just inspiring people to be passionate, in the future, I know that I want to give back to the Haitian community or even my home country. Because I met my cousin who, um, she's very smart, she's very bright, but there are no opportunities there for her. And so I want to help children like her who are smart, who are bright, who could do so much, but because they have no opportunities, they can't contribute to the world. So there was a positive light in that situation. So in everything that happens to me, I reflect. It's like if I'm frustrated or I'm pissed off, I always ask myself why. And it's like, because I feel like happiness, you know how healthiness for your body is the normal state, it's the state you want to be in, but happiness is the same in terms of emotions. That's your inner self. So if you are feeling frustrated or angry or sad or depressed, whatever negative emotion that you're feeling, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you should do like a self-check to say, why am I feeling this way? Because if you put your hand on a hot stove, you're going to feel it burning, and your brain is going to say, move your hand or your entire body will burn and turn into ashes. So when you're feeling angry or depressed for a really long time, you got to do a self check and say, what is it? Because then that's your inner self, that's your soul dying, and it's crying out and it's telling you, you need to do this to be better so that I can be happy again. So whenever there's something, there's a bump in the road, I'm human. I'm human, and my first reaction is always to give up. Always my first reaction. But I look at it again, I look at the situation, and I'm like, why is this bump there? Is this to show me, hey, you're going the wrong way, you need to turn this way? Or is it showing me that you need to get rid of this bump so that in the future you don't encounter it again? And so that's what helped me keep going. That's what always keeps me going, because it's like, this is just a learning opportunity. This is just a way for me to be a better person.
I love that. I really love that. Yeah, yeah. You have a positive outlook of life. That's really good. And I love how you share about, you think about your vision, like why, your why. So tell me, actually, since we're talking about, and I know for you, you're all about passion. What would you say is do you have a big why, or why do you do what you do?
Ooh. I do what I do. As I said, it is passion. Because right now, do you mean right now, like my business, or?
Yeah, well, well, it could be like your business. Like, do you have a big why for your business? Like, why did you start your business? Like, what's your big why that keeps you going in your business and keeps you going in life,
In terms of my business, honestly, before this podcast, I read an email from a client, which kind of made me really happy. And it's the people's lives that I get to change. It's really great. And the best part is, what I've realized, an epiphany that I've recently had, is that most of my clients are moms with small kids. So these are kids who are 3, 4, 5 years old. Some of them are just married with no kids, but a lot of them have small kids. And what I've realized is, by helping these women live out their passions and inspiring them and helping them through that process, I'm also helping the kids. And if you're helping kids and you're showing them exactly that if you live your passion, you're going to go, you can still go places, you can achieve your biggest dreams, and you can be happy just like mommy is, then you're changing the world. And so I feel like I'm impacting these women, but I'm also impacting their kids. And those kids will impact future generations. And it's a whole cycle. So that's my big why. My big why is actually changing the world throughout the generations. Because as I said, once people follow their passion, whatever it is, even if it is in the medical field or something else, whatever it is, when you follow it, because when you do something that you're passionate about, you go all out. You do not stop. You don't let anything get in your way. When somebody is passionate about something, they will fight for it. They will get to where that point is. But when you're trying to do something and you're not passionate about it, you'll stop. And so you're not contributing to the world. You're not making it a better place. But those people will never, ever, ever stop. And that's what's so great about it. So then the world each time becomes better. And we definitely need that.
Definitely. No, definitely. Totally get that. So tell me, what would you say was something that completely surprised you in this journey that you were not expecting?
The personal growth. The personal growth I had to experience. Because in my head, I was like, oh, you're going to be in business. You need to learn marketing. You need to learn you need to learn marketing, you need to learn how to manage your finances, you need to learn how to get clients, sales and stuff like that. And you need to get better at your craft, obviously. I thought those were the things that I would grow and learn and stuff. But my mindset changed from a year ago to now. I'm a lot more self-aware. I know myself more, and I'm still learning who I am, but I also love myself a lot more. And that's what surprises me the most. It's the personal things, and seeing how I feel like I have a more self-worth. And it's not because of my business, but it's because of what I do. And I have a better sense of who I am. And that's the biggest thing that surprised me about business or the entrepreneurial journey. Honestly, it's like it tests you so much that you basically become a stronger person, but you also know who you are. You know what your values are, what you'll stand for, and what you won't stand for. And even what pisses you off and annoys you about people, so that you can avoid that in the future. So I love that about the entrepreneurship journey, but it definitely surprised me.
No, definitely. I mean, I have to say I totally agree with you because, I don't know if you know her, Natalie Lousier. I met her. When I say I met her, I found out about her when I did B School with Marie Forleo 3 years ago, and she said, I recall reading one of her blogs, and she said, entrepreneurship is like the best personal development school, or one of the top ones. And for me, I have to say, hands down, it is, because, definitely I love not only I loved it, but I could truly resonate with what you said about like getting to know yourself and your mindset, because really, I can say that when I started this journey, I didn't know that my personal life was going to be transformed like that. I didn't know that I would have had to get to know myself, that I would have gotten to know myself in that level. I didn't know, yes, I was already, in my spiritual and personal growth journey and self-love journey, but still, I tell people all the time that when I started my vision, because actually my LLC is called Light of Haiti, because my big vision is to one of my big visions is to really be able to use my profits to sponsor programs in Haiti that empower men and children. So in some way, I feel like, now my business is called, because, I then created Love Like Coaching with Nadjejda, which is under the umbrella of my LLC Light of Haiti. Some people don't even know about Light of Haiti because they didn't know me from the beginning, But basically what I'm saying is that I realized in some way I was hiding behind Haiti. And then Nadjejda had to come out.
And Nadjejda's great.
I had to come out. And, so totally get that. And that's the thing, I think, I'm not saying that with any other journey people can escape their personal growth, but I know for sure in this journey, in the entrepreneurial journey, there's no way you can escape your personal growth. You can escape facing yourself. All your stuff will come up.
It's really, I think it's probably the best thing that anybody could do. And I agree with you 100%, because we're taught, you go to school, you graduate school, you go to college, you graduate college, and you get into a job. And because of that, it kind of turns into a rat race where you're like, hey, you're like constantly working and working and working. You work, you spend time with your family, you work, you spend time with your family, and you're not really pushed to journal, or you're not pushed to know yourself better. You're not pushed to do any of those others, or meditate, or do yoga. Like, some people do end up doing that, but you're not pushed to do it. But in entrepreneurship, you need to know yourself. You need to understand yourself so that you can understand your clients, so that you can cater to them. So if you want to make money, you got to know yourself. So basically, it's like it pushes you to do it, no matter whether you want to or not. It's like, nope, you got to go that way. Yes, you do.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm curious for you, since, I know you're a graphic designer, and one of the things you do is like you create graphics for designs for a client so that their audience can connect with them and they can make an income and impact the world. what do you say, like, how important is design to a business owner and websites too? I know you do graphic and websites.
Design is
Like in terms of representation of your client. I'm curious.
Yes, exactly. And the reason that I think that design is the most important thing, anything that has to do with your visual brand is the most important thing, because, well, first you have to know yourself and who your brand is, obviously, before you even get into that. But you need that visual brand to captivate people. Because the thing with the way the world is going, especially the digital world, is that people are distracted easily. They're always looking for the next big thing. They're always looking. So they're never, even if you have really great copy, or, you have your beautiful smiling face there, it's not as enticing as a design that truly represents and communicates who you are. Because the whole thing with a visual brand is that it automatically, instantly shows your audience who you are, and it makes them feel a certain way. So when you press the right buttons and you make them feel that certain way, they're like, I like this feeling. I want to feel it more. And so they check you out. So it's instant. They don't have to read anything. They don't have to watch anything. It's just, oh, that made me feel this way. This makes me feel really happy for some reason. And they're not even thinking about it, but it is psychologically. So then they click on your link. They go on your website. And if, let's say you have a Facebook ad that makes them feel really happy. So they click on it. They stop scrolling, first of all. They click on it and they go on your website. And your website makes them feel really happy. Like it's like completely on brand and everything. So they go on your site and they're like scrolling. They're like, this makes me feel really good. I want to get to know her. I want to see what she provides. I want to buy from her. I need her help. I need her. And that's the whole point with your visual brand. So that's why it's so important. The biggest analogy I like to use is branding is like an iceberg. So you've got an iceberg on the ocean, and when you look at an iceberg, 90% of it is underwater. So under the branding, the 90% is all the parts that make you who you are, that makes your brand who it is and what it stands for. And then at the tip, the visual brand is the 10%. Now that 10% is important, even though it's really small. It's super important, because if you didn't have that tip of the iceberg, then people wouldn't even know you existed. If you were an iceberg, if your business was an iceberg, because your brand is all underwater. So how are people who are coming by supposed to see you if you have no tip, or if you don't have a strong tip, so that you can stop them and make them aware of your message and make them aware of your passion, and so that you can help them. And that is all I'm going to end with, because I could talk about this all day.
I can tell you're really excited about it. Okay, so tell me now, what do you believe the world needs more of, and why?
Passion. Actually, I might have to change that. Communication. I think it's about communication, because when you communicate with people, and you communicate well, you express yourself well, then you see a change. Especially if you're looking to do something positive, obviously, and you're able to express that properly, then people listen. They stop and they listen, and the biggest thing is that they help. So if you're able to put your personality in something, put that passion into it, and change people's perceptions by expressing yourself well, whether it's visually or with audio or video, whatever it is whatever medium that you use, then that's how you change the world. So definitely communication.
Totally agree with you. What do you stand for in life?
I feel like
well, hey, you said communication before, so
what I stand for in life. I'd say, what do I stand for in life? I would say, yes, passion, definitely. Because when you do anything with passion, you see results. And I love results. I love seeing results. So when you do whatever you apply passion to, whether it's your business, your career, your children, school, your spouse or your significant other, whoever or whatever you apply passion to, you will see it grow. So I stand for that. I stand for being passionate about everything that you do. In fact, if you're not passionate about something, you shouldn't be doing it. You should just stop doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And actually that's what I was gonna share kind of like that is where, I have this thing where I've heard people say it, and that's one of the things, and I often remind myself, and I even did a post on that last night, where if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no.
Yes, I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that, and I was like, I need to start doing that to myself.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a hell yes?
That's why, actually my coach that I work with one-on-one, and I've done several programs with her too, group programs. She has this thing in her discovery thing where you sign up to get on a call with her to work on. She actually says that when we get on the call, if you're not a hell yes, or if we're not both not a hell yes, then we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
good.
it's so good because it's so true, and the thing is that, and that's what I shared on my post last night, is that sometimes it could be that right now this thing is not a hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
So which means that it's not you don't need to go there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And and that's the thing, and that's what I feel like, in a way, passion makes you be hell yes. Like it's like when I reached out to you for the podcast, you were like, yes. When people tell me, hey, I have this opportunity for you, I'm like, yes. And then they're like, I don't know. And that means no, don't go with it. And actually, I wish, even for me, I wish sometimes that I could, sometimes it's hard to, it's kind of like we're trying to weigh things, but I feel like in a way, if how they say, there's a quote that says, although it's about love, it's like, if where there's question, there's not love or something, but it's kind of like the same thing. Is that when you're kind of weighing things in a way, and it's like kind of hard for you to make a decision, and you probably know, don't go with
if you're weighing the pros and cons. I'll even say it because somebody did approach me maybe a week or two earlier about being in their summit. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that'd be a good way. That'd be a good way to promote myself and stuff like that. So I'm looking at the pros of it, but I'm like, it wasn't a hell yes. So I was like, let me set up a meeting with her and let's talk and let's see how it goes. So I asked her a couple of questions. She tells me what she's standing for, what's the summit about, and it all aligns with things that I care about and what I'd like to approach, but I'm still not feeling it. I'm not feeling, she seems like a nice person, and her summit will probably be great when it launches, but I was just not feeling it. And I was like, I'm maybe the next summit. I don't think this summit is the right one for me right now. She was like, okay, I understand. So it's definitely good to use that approach with things, because it's like, if you're weighing it, then it's probably a no.
Yeah. Or if you're like, another thing, I don't know, another thing with kind of like with what I shared, sometimes if you have to ask somebody, they're kind of like, that's not, because I know when you say hell yes, you tend to just, obviously there are things in life sometimes that maybe you have to kind of weigh it. But when it's like, if it starts, like, if it's, for me, here's how I see it. If it's taking too much time, if it's draining your energy, if it's like taking, then it's probably, that's a no, So totally get you.
What I've noticed with when people ask people for advice, like I have friends who ask me for advice on what option they should choose. And what I do ask them is, I'm like, what option do you want me to say? What advice do you want me to give you? Because even if you give the person advice, they already know what they want to do. They just want to hear you back them up so that they can go and do that thing. So when they ask, do you think I should do this or that? Whether you say, even if you say something different, they're still going to do the thing that they wanted. They're going to be like, yeah, I should do this. I know you said this, but I'm going to do this instead. So consulting your friends or anybody else, it doesn't work, because you already have what you want to do in mind.
Yeah, totally get that. I love that. So this concludes the interview part, Samoa. Thank you. I want you now to tell people about your work and where they can connect with you. Who do you work with? What do you do for them? They can connect with you on social media and your website. And I know you also have a free gift for them, so you could tell them about that. And just so you guys know, you don't need to feel like you have to write this down as she's talking, because this is going to be under the video. And if you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts, visit my website, www.lovelikecoaching.com, and you'll see under the video, you will see Samoa's information. So go ahead.
All right, so I actually offer the ultimate branding experience for coaches and other online service providers. So I'm excited because this is something I just recently launched. I went from just doing brand design for people and web design and etc. And I love doing it, but I feel like branding should be a whole experience. You know, it should be something that you don't just dip your feet into it. You just immerse like a full body experience that never leaves you. So I've tweaked my process a lot more, and I just want to open that up for you guys. It's like if you guys are interested, whether you're looking to brand your business in terms of a logo design, or if you're looking to do a website, I am opening up the doors for the ultimate branding experience, and I'm starting to book it in January. So I'm excited for that. You guys can find me on ain'titbysamoa.com and at ain'titbysamoa on Facebook and Instagram. And my free offer is actually something I came up with, which is for people who are not really sure what their brand is and who are looking to learn more information about that. It's a whole magazine, guys. It's a magazine with interviews with other people. So it's not just me talking, but it's a bunch of other people who went through the branding process and are still going through the branding process and what they've learned along the journey. And it comes with little questions for you guys to journal out so that you can understand how you can apply those lessons to your own brand so that it can become stronger. That's it.
Great, definitely. Thanks for sharing. No, definitely. So I have one more question actually I'd like to ask you. For people who are listening, you know, and maybe they're, you know, for you it was about moving out and starting your own business. For them it could be, you know, maybe they're about to make this decision in their business that their team, that not I wouldn't say their team, but like their partner doesn't agree with, or something that kind of like goes against their family or something. So I'm curious, what would be your final word for them?
If it's scary but you want to do it, then do it anyway. Because fear is a feeling where it comes in and it's like, oh, and you got to listen to it sometimes. Because sometimes the fear is telling you, hey, I know you want to do this, but this could really hurt you, or this will not go well for you. But fear might also be saying that I don't think you're good enough. You need to really think about that, because the fear might be telling you I'm trying to protect you, but it might even be telling you I'm trying to protect you from letting yourself down because you're not good enough for this. And that's your ego talking. That's your ego being afraid. And you need to listen to your soul and what your soul is saying, because your soul wants the best for you in every aspect. And if it's saying, yeah, this is scary, your ego is right. It's scary, but you deserve it and you will do great at it, then do it, no matter what your spouse, your family, or even yourself is telling you.
Yeah, I love that. I love it, because I know sometimes we talk ourselves out of things.
I've done it.
I just realized how I was just talking to people about staying in their head. And that's one of the things, when we stay in our head too long, we talk ourselves out of things. That's why, you know, sometimes people say, take action right away. If you have to make that call, if you have to reach out to somebody, send an email, say yes to something or do something, if you wait, you talk yourself out of it. I know for me, I've talked myself out of it. Like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, and then I don't take the action. And then next thing I know, but it's all these thoughts are coming up about why it's not going to work or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
So totally get that. Wow. So thank you again for joining me today, Samoa.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it. And I really, really loved your energy. And I have to say, you know what, in a way, you really remind me of myself. You know, I think, you know, as they say, and I have to say, you know, when I read, and I think it wasn't the first time. I don't know if it was something you asked on Facebook or whatever, but there's something that you say that basically when we follow our passion, it may not be exactly that, but basically when we follow our passion, we're happier. And when we're happy, you know, the world is a better place, you know? And it reminded me, because that was really one of my things when I started my business. So it's like I see so much parallel between the two of us that, I mean, I have my days too, but I could see like you're pretty positive, you're pretty upbeat and everything. And I love that. Like, that's what drew me to you. I was like, oh, she's, you know, she's my type of people.
Well, I'm glad that it did.
You know what? Because I think sometimes, you know, some people might be thinking that, why is she always smiling? Why is she always, you know? Like, I had somebody tell me once, don't you get tired of dancing? I'm like, what?
Oh, it's fun. That's crazy.
Like, it's fun, you know? So anyway, so thank you again for joining me. Those of you who are watching us are listeners or viewers on my website through Apple Podcasts. Thank you. I hope you found this helpful. Please let us know. Leave us a comment under the video. Let us know that this resonated with you. If you have any questions for Samoa or myself, go ahead and let us know. I will make sure to let her know to jump in and reply. If it's something you're asking me, I will. And same goes with you. If you're watching through Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Join me on my website, www.lovelikecoaching.com. And leave us a comment there, subscribe to my email list. So that's another thing. If you really enjoy this and you don't want to miss any episode, every Thursday I share a new episode, unless it's a time where I'm taking a break, which I took a break during the holiday season, the month of December. I didn't share any, not on my website. I did share on Apple Podcasts because it's a little bit behind because I put it on my podcast first. But if you don't want to miss any episodes, every Thursday I share a new one. Subscribe to on Apple Podcasts, the Soulful Conversations with Nadjejda. And also, if you know, I can deliver it directly in your inbox. So below this video, after Samoa's information, you will see a box. Join my email list. Put in your name, your email address, and you will get a new episode every Thursday in your inbox. And then also, once you sign up and you confirm your subscription, you'll get my free gift to you, which is my 7 questions to help you connect with yourself and have an aligned message in your business. And you'll also will be hearing, like, you'll get more tips and inspiration from me. And so thank you all for joining me today. Thanks again, Samoa. Love and light to all. Take care.